I saw that the average monthly payment for a car is $700. How can people afford that? Only people I know buying new cars are people who are already well established and have all their other needs comfortably taken care of. Most people I know who struggle to pay their rent, let alone other bills, are buying used clunkers for like under $5K in cash and praying it doesn't break down. Never trust your eyes when it comes to the finances of others. Most are living a complete lie. Keep in mind that averages are usually much higher than medians and skewed by extreme outliers. Car prices and payments are out of this world right now. It's not that they can afford the huge payment, but oftentimes it's their only choice. Getting into that paycheck to paycheck cycle. When I was really young, I bought new American cars. They were pretty low end because I couldn't afford high payments on my salary. Right after I bought them, they began to break down almost immediately, and quickly looked ratty. Even though I took care of them, my cars were bankrupting me. So I finally wised up and bought a really good used foreign car, like Honda or Toyota, and took care of it. Back then the payments were about $200, but the car would definitely outlast the payments. So when I paid the car off, I just kept making $200 car payments to myself. In my savings account, it's called a car fund, I would drive my cars until they started to break down a lot over 200,000 mi. When I got rid of them, the best deal I could get for the car would be a trade-in for another used late-model foreign car. I would have a pretty big down payment by that time, so I could level up a little. But if I stuck to Hondas or Toyotas, the car was dependable, and I continued to bank my $200 car payments to myself. I would get a long-term loan so that I could easily make the payments no matter what else was going on in my life. But I always paid the car off early by paying extra when I had a little more. And I kept banking my car payments. The last car I bought was an Acura. I paid cash for it. I save time by selecting the cars I want online. It may take a while, but I can get a low mileage car if I hold out for one. I only buy from reputable dealerships. By the way, I do taxes for some very rich people. They always buy used cars too. For a vast majority, poor financial decision making, spending more than 5% gross or 10% net income is crazy. I doubt most of those people are making six figures. They can't. If you don't make a load of money, you don't buy a $40,000 car. Pretty simple, right? Cars are like spouses. If you find a good one, hang on to it. If it needs a lot of repairs, it probably will never get better. Cut your losses and get rid of it. I drive a 2010 car and a 1973 spouse. They can't. That's the point. It's called debt. It's the only thing keeping the world running. If debt was suddenly illegal, the world would collapse overnight. Everything is debt. Everything is fake. It'll collapse eventually, don't worry. They can afford it, or they are acting rich instead of wealthy, and I know some people who live with their parents and buy exotic cars. The $1,000 is just the car payment. Still need insurance and yearly expenses. They're either in a lot of debt and making poor decisions, or make a lot of money. I'm sure there's a middle ground, but those would be my guesses. I barely pay that in rent. Maybe I should get a new car and live in that. Making good income. I am currently paying $610 a month, and I am not struggling to afford it. I have a $725 payment. I always hope it's the average new car buyer who, if buying new, should also be in a pool of people with above average income, hence why they buy new and can afford the $700 $1,000 payments. But it does seem like so many people who can't afford it pay $7,000 $1,000 a month for a car do buy them. Like at these numbers, it's not an average car you're getting. Leather cooled heated seats, heated steering wheels, big screens, big rims, some driving aids, probably bigger than you need overall, etc. I just don't see the argument why people think they need to spend the $700 a month just get a base Civic. They are great cars and pretty sizable nowadays, while still way more than they used to be. It should be like half the average new car payment. And if that's too much, then go used. Averages can get skewed by big or small numbers. There are probably some people out there paying huge car payments, but most people aren't. And is that new or used cars? Do most people own new cars? I'm guessing no. Most people make terrible financial decisions. I could afford 2 payments at that price, but instead I rock a $5,000 2000 Tundra with $250K. I put $0 into it last year, hoping to keep that thing going for another $250K. Have a job that pays enough to afford that. Financial guidance says to spend about 10% on car expenses. So say that's $700 for payment plus another $100 for insurance, $100 for gas. That's $900 per mo, meaning income of $9,000 mo. That's $108,000 annual salary. Not exactly CEO, pro athlete income. That's a pretty typical income for a white-collar type job. Higher level tradesman, plumber, carpenter, etc. And there are plenty of people who don't follow the optimal personal finance guidance and spend more on a car than 10% of income. And that's for a new car. There's a reason why there is also a huge used car market. For every marketing executive who can afford a $700 or $800 car payment, there's 2 people buying a 3-year-old car with a $400 payment or 10-year-old car with a $200 payment. Average ain't median. Average gets pulled up by ultra high-end cars. Also, most cars under a certain price, like $10,000, are probably bought largely with cash. By spending a greater percent of their income than they should on a depreciating asset. What you have to keep in mind though is a vehicle doesn't turn to dust when the loan is paid off. It's still worth something. So there is a savings element in each payment. And vehicles aren't depreciating nearly as fast as they used to.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.